Welcome back to another DIY video. Today we're going to be working on this 2007 Porsche Cayman. This is the 2.7 liter base model. We are changing the rear suspension support clamp. Very hard part for me to find. I decided to go with OEM, and that is the part number right there. I purchased mine online. That's what it looks like. Some tools you're going to need today is going to be a 1/4 torque wrench and then 1/4 breaker bar, 19mm bit to get your lug nuts off. You can either use a ratchet or a battery powered ratchet, which is what I'm going to use right here. To get started, you want to go to the driver's side door, pop the hood open for the front. We're going to go over to the driver's side. Right here in the bottom for the front. And assuming that yours still has the lug nut key, it should be right here in the front. And this little piece right here. There it is. Once you get your wheel lock off, we're gonna go to the rear of the car because this rear suspension clamp holder is right here for the driver's side rear. We need to get these lug nuts off. You can use whatever tools you have at the house. I'm gonna use this jack that I purchased at Harbor Freight along with my jack stands to add a layer security. I'm gonna use the breaker bar to break these nuts right here loose, and then I'm gonna jack it up. Now we're gonna go ahead and crack these nuts loose, and then you can jack it up. Before you jack it up, you want to put a wheel chock or just a piece of wood or something so it doesn't roll backwards. Now when you jack it up, you want to make sure you're putting it on the jack points under the car. It should be this piece right here. So I'm going to stick my jack under there and jack it up. Once you have it jacked up, I like to put down my jack stands as an added layer of security on the crossbar down here on the bottom, just for peace of mind. The wheel somewhere safe. All right, now that the wheel is off, I'll give you a better or closer look of what we're replacing. We're replacing this little clamp right here. It's clearly broken. Okay, this right here. I'm gonna go get my ratchet set. I think that might be, I don't know, maybe an 8mm or so to loosen this nut here on the back side. So we're gonna wanna break this apart right here. Just get rid of all the loose debris so we can get it prepped and install the new part, or the new clamp. Okay. This is right here. Let's go to the back side. Let's see what else we gotta do. Next, we're gonna remove this nut right here. It is a 10mm. So we just break that loose. It's spinning. Let's see. It's moving. this in down here, try to wiggle this around. I think that came off right there. Okay, nice, there you go. There it is. Now okay, yeah, there's a nut right there. I don't know if you can see it right here. Let's get something to hold it so we can take this off. I'll be right back. Let me get a wrench. I think that's a 10mm. Tell you guys what tools you need from the beginning. This is actually my first time doing this. So, as I've mentioned before in my past videos, I try to do a lot of these in real time. So there's really no way of me knowing what tools I need just yet until I start doing it. So, loosening it up. Pay attention to how it goes on so you don't forget. There it is. Sweet. We'll take it over to the workbench and we can compare them. Back over to the workbench now. So this is the one that broke. This is my replacement. You'll notice that this is where it broke, so it doesn't anchor into the lower control arm with this push-through pin. I'm gonna take all this out of the bag and bring it back over to the pan. Push pin. That's our broken piece. And again, this was for me a little bit tough to find. That is the part number. And this right here is called the Boxster rear suspension support clamp. Now you're gonna have to get your little wrench, 10mm. Put it back on there because it's gonna spin. So, yeah, well, we're gonna do this by hand first. Bend this one back in place. This one has to go facing towards the rear, like that. See this little arm right up here? Oops, right here. Face it towards you. Now we're just gonna maneuver this back in, get it over this lower control arm. Small little update, this little plastic pin, push it out because you're gonna have a hard time squeezing it through here. There we go. Nice, okay. So what we're trying to do right now is get this pin pushed through. So I'm gonna have to put the camera down because I need to maneuver it in there. Just a small update. To get that little plastic pin in, it's easier if you jack up the suspension. It'll clip in smoother. We are ready to put the tire back on. Make sure everything's buttoned up. All right. I would recommend you to feed these in by hand first, so you don't strip the threads. But I'm pretty familiar with this car, so. All right, guys. That's gonna be pretty much it. Tighten up all your lug nuts to, I think it's a 74 foot-pounds of torque. Make sure to check your owner's manual as well. Put the car down, remove all of your jack stands, and that should pretty much be it. Again, this is gonna be a DIY for you, replacing the rear suspension holding clamp. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Feel free to subscribe to the channel, and I will see you on the next one. Thank you. Just an update, the lug nuts are 96 foot-pounds. Again, make sure to check your owner's manual, but I wasn't certain, so I just looked it up online. 96 foot-pounds of torque.